brings me here is interviewing artists from other countries. That's the focus of my project because I think it's really interesting to get artists' perspectives from their home countries and hear about their experience and show that music is something that unites us all. And as I was telling you earlier, we were covering the contraband showcase from musicians from the Muslim banned countries.
Okay.
So I don't know if you've heard of some musicians have been denied visas to enter here.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think about that happening?
Well, the ban on the countries, like just that, we strongly disagree with that.
Yeah.
We don't believe that will help anybody. With the visas that got banned, we don't know that like the cases are of everybody. Like Soviet, we did read that they went like through a big harassment thing in the airport with CBP. So well, it's something shocking. Like for us, like entering here, we had no problems, and we always spoke like all the interviews we had before coming to Austin. In each one, they asked us how what do you think the Trump era, like going to Austin, are you worried we'll have problems at the airport? And it was so crazy because like I said, we are used to coming to this town a lot and we like it a lot, and we've always feel like welcome here, like a very welcoming city in the most earnest sense of the word, like just welcoming, like won't push you away because you're from far away. And when people started asking us those questions, that really put things into perspective, and we didn't run into any problems on entering the country. But like hearing that so many people got into trouble, or at least like was it hassle, really speaks out to whatever is happening here, because it wasn't a problem back then. Like that wasn't an issue people were talking to me about when it came to South by Southwest the first time. Like wasn't something that came up in interviews. It wasn't something that was in people's mind, like in talks. In this trip we have only experienced love and good people and good vibes. But it's true that it's in the air, And when it's in the air, I believe like it might be a problem, because if it's in everybody's mind, it's because it's the pink elephant in the room,
Right.
Speaking out, we come from a country like where political awareness, we had to learn that rolling with the punches, of seeing our country being taken away from us in many ways, and not by because it's not about politics in the end. I don't believe it's about rhetorics, Republican, Democratic, it's the same thing in the end, in many ways, but it's more about like seeing what you want, what you believe in reflected in your country, in your streets, in not feeling like your country does not reflect your values. That is a very strong thing, because you feel like an outcast in your home, and that is not okay, And from what we have lived in Venezuela, I can tell you, like, it's very important to be at least participative, because in the end, what will happen if you not do it is like all other people will choose for you. And they will choose things that will surely not reflect your values, man.
If there's some kids in Venezuela that are 15 or 16 years old now and they want to start a band like yours, like, is that possible? Would they be able to do it the same way?
We know some little guys that are making awesome music, like the best music there right now, but there's not infrastructure to play it for the people. Like, it's really dangerous to go play at night.
Now there's
anywhere.
less infrastructure.
Right. Yeah, and there are not like these venues. There are not. There's like one venue in Caracas, that's the capital of the country, and in the other cities there's or there are not, or if there are, it's like one bar and it's like all mixed up there. Like, it's really crazy, and for us to keep doing that, what we do there, it was being really difficult, and we didn't have we wouldn't survive if we
we
stayed
knew
there.
despite of the situation, we knew we had to go away from our families, and
we had to do it almost
in other cities
at scratch from zero in Mexico.
And we play rock and roll, like you have to understand. Well, we are not like in rock and roll, like, in that sense, like, well, if guitar rock is dying here, like imagine like in a Caribbean sense, reggaeton's so big, man. Like just think of they really are like massive genres, like they attract a lot of people. They do it like big festivals, big fairs. So when the fact that we got to have a little recognition, like popular recognition in Venezuela, is something kind of awesome, because in the end we know we're not part of of the popular genres in that sense, And it's weird because the fact that we've even like been like this kind of vegetable in a meat market.
It's a great comparison.
Yeah.
Especially to reggaeton.
Yeah.
Market.
Like we had to take a
That's a
decision.
steak. That's
Yeah.
a nice steak.
We had to take a decision quickly because it was like we're doing this for other reasons. You know, we're doing this for art, and suddenly like artists, it's possible to live out of your art. You know, in a modest way. You know, like okay, let's do it. And it was something like started to become obvious. Like, well, doing what you want to do in the world you live in the country you live in the situation you are in. What you want won't be possible. That that card won't go through.
Yeah.
And so we moved quickly in 2014. I believe that it was a good decision because since then things have only like escalated down, man.
Yeah.
Like you know, and by then, like Daniel said, we thought it was already like bad enough infrastructure-wise. Like you know, like oh.
It was already bad.
Yeah.
3 years
It was
later,
very painful to leave, our families, our friends, but we knew.
Studios, like recording studios. Like for me, the part that hit like the hardest, like it was the studios that closed. You know, the studio where we made the Nuestra Será, where I learned to record. They dismantled it. I remember the day they dismantled that studio. Yeah, and a lot of records like Del Devenido Verso, El Día Hoy, like a lot of records that I know like it matter to people, in my country were made there, and I didn't know like while being there, I didn't know like that was what was happening, The same con Imperator y con Tumbador, which was another studio. That's why it's like those two studios particularly really hit me hard because it's when I realized like, fuck, where are they gonna record now? Because there are a lot of there are a lot of studios in Caracas, but those two in particular made a lot of rock and roll music, and were run by two very amazing guys and producers that, let's say, were very open-minded, right? Like, in the end, it was something that it was a possibility for anyone, and what really got me thinking when they closed was like, where the fuck are, because I remember that getting to record properly in Caracas, like rock and roll, it took us some time, We didn't did it right away because it's not like the States, like you have a lot of instruments and stuff that are done here, it was a shame when I saw like those studios die because I really felt like, fuck, it's gonna take a while for another person to amass the amount of money to, build something good enough for a rock and roll band to do something as good as they do it like in other countries where they have a lot of more stuff,
I would think that, maybe an artist would just follow like what you guys did, and move because they're going to move to,
They're starting to move a lot.
They're starting to move,
the
totally.
opportunities.
We have a lot of friends now in other countries, like band friends. Like it's so weird. Like our scene, our Caracas scene, which is in the end is very small. You could see like this,
Yeah, and we have them in Miami and in Mexico City and which else? Buenos Aires.
And right now there are like 5 bands from Venezuela, from Caracas, living in Mexico City.
Really?
Yeah.
That must be kind of cool to have. Like,
Yeah,
that
It's
Right.
kind of cool, yeah.
Dude, we do a lot of jam sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
What we've taken too is like since we're friends from a long time and we play music.
On the weekends.
Yeah, we
everybody
sometimes do
gathers.
jams. Like we take a house and we just like play party music. You know.
Do you think your time spent in Mexico is possibly changing the music a little bit, or bringing in little Mexican influences?
Well,
from
yeah, of
rock
course.
bands, or-
We love to think. Yeah.
I know. So like certain, not only from a lot of places, like the places we've been and we connect with, but certainly being in Mexico, yes, like especialmente like for me, like with La Lucha, it was El Huapango.
Yeah.
Which
Huapango is
yeah,
great, yeah.
because it really resonated to me as something beautiful, that it was possible the contradiction of a very beautiful song singing about death and singing about the song at the same time in beautiful scales, like
Yeah.
almost major and augmented scales, like
Yeah.
this grandiose, beautiful kind of feeling, like a blossomness, So yeah, it truly, like from La Lucha, El Huapango really influenced, but I don't know like if our sound is changing through that. I would like to think so, because in the end, like it's something like symbiotic.
Yeah.
The city gives you something, you give something to the city,
Yeah.
and in the end you make something together, and it transforms with time. But it will only time will tell. How does Mexico City
Yeah, but-
informed our sound?
But Mexico it has like se ha nos ha dado tanto. It has been very grateful to us. Our first office, studio,
Yeah.
like this
For us,
culture, infinite culture. Actually, our photo shoots for the new album, it's all Mexico.
Sounds like they've been very welcoming.
Yes, yes,
Mexico is
they
all-
are.
Maybe
They are.
we could learn a thing or two from Mexico in
well,
the United States, you know,
yeah,
about
well,
being good hosts.
Those messages are there. Like our sound engineer has this jacket that says Mexico's the shit.
Our crew is Mexican. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, our
And
crew is Mexican too.
inside the jacket it has like this statement where it's just like, you know, the thing about Mexico is that you don't have to be Mexican, you know, to be embraced by it.
Right.
And that it's true when we have felt that, you know, like it's something that is just from their culture, you know. And if you come to think of it, it's a culture that's taken so much people, you know. For example, Roberto Bolaño,
Right.
Trotsky, you know. A lot, even Joe Strummer lived in Mexico City.
Really?
Yeah, for 2 years. His father was a diplomat. He lived all over the place.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's why he knew a little bit of Spanish.
Yeah.
So
It's like Clash doesn't get any like Spanish bombs or
Yeah.
anything. You know, without, Spanish bombs doesn't happen if he doesn't live in Mexico.
Exactly.
Kerouac lived in Kerouac lived in Mexico. William Burroughs has to escape here to Mexico when the William Tell accident, you know. So a lot of people like have been received by it, and I believe that that's in the air. It's like a hug, you know. It's just you're safe. Like when we arrived to Mexico, I have to say that we didn't feel like, and we haven't felt that never the.
Yeah, it's a big city. It's
Yeah.
overwhelming, but the hug is still there.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
Like the main thing, like you will not find, you know, like a spite from anybody in that sense. Like everybody's like in their own struggle. Actually, like such a big city, so like such diverse city with.
Well, and they feel glad when they ask you like, oh, where are you from? Like, if you're not Mexican, they feel like happy.
Yeah, they
like,
feel
there's
happy.
They
people-
don't judge you for being
No.
Venezuelan.
No, actually, they feel
No.
like flattered that you are
Uh-huh.
coming.
Yeah.
You know,
that
that's
are
a beautiful
there.
thing.
Like, oh,
Uh-huh.
wow, that's nice that
Like,
you're
well, thank
here.
you for being here. That's it's
Yeah.
awesome.
It's interesting.
Yeah, Caracas is not like that.
Different
actually.
take. Yeah, it's a different take. Like we have, even Caracas is not like that. It's something. I have to say, it's something very Mexican. Like it's something I haven't seen in many places in my life. There's this phrase by Marjan Satrapi that says that the distance between you and I is smaller than the distance between you and your government. The same way the distance between me and my government, you know. And in the end, that is the you know that is the way I believe that the world changes. You know, like if we get to know it, like different cultures, like meeting each other, like you know, just hanging out in many ways. I believe that progress comes from that. You know, like very simple, very organic.
So tell me a little bit about La Lucha.
Well, La Lucha is the third album. Is like you said, is the end of a trilogy, if you might say. I would say that it's our coming of age trilogy, if something, you know, and a coming of sound. I will also call it, you know, because it took us 3 records to, I believe, to get to a sound we can call our own.
Right.
So in many ways, we feel right now that's our opinion, and maybe it will change with years. But now I believe it's or at least it's my favorite record, or at least the one that makes me feel more
Mine too.
happy, proud
Totally.
of what we did. Because in the end, I can see, I can hear
Right.
that it translates what was happening in our hearts. You know, the producer of La Lucha is Eduardo Cabra, which is a Visitente in Calle 13, former Calle 13. And Eduardo really, like, for example, he's a very I would say, like, he has a very big heart, you know. So I can now I can listen to the record and not only hear us, but hear some of them, you know. Or even like there's one track that is an interview to some the kids of some of our friends. So now hearing them and you know, like suddenly realizing like this is a picture, you know.
It's a
like,
picture of that moment, yeah.
yeah, of these people, these places, like us, you know, like such a beautiful thing, because I believe like in the end, like if no one likes it, like just like the 20 or maybe 25 people that we've been involved, like the fact that we can,
We love it.
yeah, that we can go 10 years from now to it and listen to that testimony of when we were like younger. I feel like it's something beautiful to have in our lives. So that's my take on La Lucha. I would say that it's more colorful. With other records, like with Será, it was such a gloomy thing, like to have in our backs in many ways. You know, I believe it was a cross that was important to bear, to understand what we now understand and why we did the record we did, La Lucha, I mean. But it really took, you know, some time to understand you can also be a mirror of light. You don't have to, You don't have to be painting all them of
Yeah,
black.
don't
You
have
know,
to
you don't
force
you don't have.
nothing.
Yeah, you don't have to be nothing other than what it's in your heart.
That's great. Well, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to talk to me.
No, dude, like,
It's really nice getting to know you and seeing where you're going, and I wish you guys all the best and continued success.
Thank
What
you
you're doing.
very much.
And yeah, hope maybe someday in the future maybe you come back to Caracas and open a recording studio.
Yeah. We will do stuff there. I think
totally.
we will not stop doing stuff in our country.
Yeah.
We will keep sending our bombs. but,
That's very Joe Strummer.
but the thing is, like, the time will come, and I hope you get to see it with us too.
Absolutely. I would love that. Thank you guys.
No, thank
Cheers.
It's fun.